Hello and welcome back to the Leo English podcast. We are truly happy to have you here with us today. I'm Tina and I'm Leo, and on this channel we help you learn real English through simple, natural conversations because we want English to feel useful in daily life and not just something you find in a textbook. And today's topic is very important for beginners because we are talking about how to talk about your feelings in English, which is something we all do every single day, whether we realize it or not. Since we talk about being happy, tired, sad, excited, worried, calm, or nervous almost constantly. And if you can talk about your feelings clearly, you can have much more real and meaningful conversations with friends, co-workers, classmates, and family. And you can also understand other people better too. So in this lesson, we will show you easy phrases, useful questions, and natural examples that you can use in your daily life starting today. And if you want to improve your English step by step, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you never miss our next lesson. And now let's get started properly. Leo, how are you today? I'm good, but a little sleepy. Tina says, sleepy. Why is that? And Leo explains that he stayed up too late last night because he told himself just one more video and then suddenly it was 1 in the morning. And Tina says that happens to so many people. And Leo jokes that his brain said go to sleep, but his hand kept clicking play again. And then Leo asks Tina how she is doing. And Tina says she is doing well today and feels calm because she had a quiet morning. And Leo says that sounds nice and that quiet mornings feel very much like something Tina would enjoy. And Tina agrees and explains she had tea, opened the window and made a short plan for the day. And Leo jokes that this is the difference between them, since Tina makes a plan while he goes looking for snacks. And Tina asks if he found any, and Leo admits yes, and that was exactly the problem. And then Tina asks what Leo did this weekend, and he shares that he met an old friend for lunch and they talked for almost 2 hours. And Tina says, that sounds lovely, and asks how he felt afterward. And Leo says he felt happy and a little surprised too, because even though they had not met in a long time, the conversation still felt easy and natural. And Tina says that's wonderful. And Leo then asks Tina what she did over the weekend. And she shares that she visited her parents. Her mother cooked a big lunch. And her father told the same story twice. And Leo jokingly asks if it was really only twice. And Tina laughs and says it was a good day overall. And she felt relaxed after visiting them. And then they both notice something interesting, which is that even in this short casual chat, they already used several feeling words naturally, including sleepy, calm, happy, surprised, and relaxed. And Tina points out that many English learners already know simple words like happy and sad, but they don't always know how to use them naturally in real conversation, since sometimes people know the word but don't know what to say after it. And so today's lesson is designed to make that easier step by step. And they begin with the most basic and common question people use to ask about feelings, which is simply, how are you? And Leo explains you can also ask, how are you feeling, or how do you feel today? And Tina asks if those questions are different. And Leo explains that how are you is more general, while how are you feeling asks more directly about someone's emotional or physical state. So if someone looks tired, a person might specifically ask, how are you feeling? And the natural answer could simply be, I'm tired. And Tina reminds listeners that simple English is often much more powerful than people expect, since sentences like I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm sad, or I'm nervous are already complete, real, and useful answers. And then they move into a list of common feeling words that beginners should know well, including happy, sad, tired, angry, excited, worried, nervous, calm, bored, and relaxed. And they emphasize that it's important to practice these words inside full sentences rather than only saying one word alone. For example, saying, I'm happy today, or I'm tired after work, since adding a reason afterward makes the sentence feel more natural and complete. And they also explain that people often feel 2 emotions at once. So you can say something like, I'm happy but tired, or I'm excited and a little nervous, because real feelings are frequently mixed rather than simple. And Leo jokes that he often feels hungry and hopeful at the same time, hopeful that food is coming soon. And then they explain the small difference between saying I'm and I feel, noting that both are correct and commonly used, though I'm tends to feel slightly more direct and common in quick daily conversation, while I feel can sound a little more personal or reflective, and both I'm sad and I feel sad are completely natural to use. And then they explain the difference between physical feelings such as tired, sleepy, sick, hot, cold, hungry, or thirsty, which relate to the body, and emotional feelings such as happy, sad, nervous, angry, excited, lonely, or relaxed, which relate more to the heart or mind. So saying I'm hungry is physical, while saying I'm worried is emotional. And from there, they introduce two extremely simple and reusable sentence patterns that beginners can rely on constantly. The first being I'm blank because blank, such as I'm happy because my friend called me, I'm tired because I worked late, or I'm nervous because I have a test tomorrow. And the second pattern being I feel blank when blank, such as I feel relaxed when I listen to music, I feel excited when I travel, or I feel worried when I don't answer messages for too long. And they explain that the first pattern usually talks about a feeling happening right now, while the second pattern often describes a general or repeated feeling in certain situations, and then they walk through common daily feeling words one at a time in more detail, starting with happy, which means feeling good, glad, or pleased, and can be used in sentences like I'm happy today, I'm happy to see you, or I'm happy because I finished my work. And Leo shares that he personally feels happy when his coffee tastes good. And next they discuss sad, used in sentences like I'm sad today, I feel sad about the news, or she looks sad. And they gently remind listeners to be kind and careful when describing someone else's sadness rather than being blunt about it. And next comes tired, an extremely common everyday word used in sentences like I'm tired, I'm very tired today, I feel tired after work, or I'm too tired to cook. And they highlight the useful pattern too tired to, such as I'm too tired to study or I'm too tired to go out. And then they discuss nervous, which describes a feeling of mild fear or worry before something important, like a test, an interview, or meeting new people, with examples like, I'm nervous about my interview, she feels nervous before exams, or don't worry, it's normal to feel nervous, which sounds warm and supportive. And next is excited, meaning very happy and full of energy about something, often stronger than simple happiness, used in examples like, I'm excited about my trip, he feels excited before the concert, or the children are excited. And they note that excited and nervous often appear together, such as in the sentence, I'm excited but nervous before a big presentation. And then they explain worried, which describes thinking something bad might happen or feeling stress about a problem, with examples like, I'm worried about money, or she feels worried about her son, and they mention the common phrase, don't worry, reminding listeners that tone matters greatly, since the same words can sound kind or cold, depending on how they are spoken. And next comes angry, meaning upset or mad about something, and they clarify that while mad can also mean angry, angry is the clearer word for beginners to learn first, with examples like, I'm angry because the bus is late, he looks angry, or she was angry this morning. And Leo shares that he personally doesn't enjoy feeling angry because it makes his whole day feel heavy, meaning emotionally difficult rather than physically heavy. And then they explore calm and relaxed together since they feel similar, explaining that calm means peaceful and not stressed or upset, while relaxed means comfortable and not tense, with tense meaning that your body or mind feels tight from stress. And they give examples like, I feel calm in the morning, this music makes me feel relaxed, she looks calm, or I'm more relaxed after a walk. And Tina shares that she personally feels relaxed after a shower and clean clothes. And next comes bored, meaning that nothing feels interesting, with examples like, I'm bored, he feels bored in long meetings, or the movie was boring, so I felt bored. And they clearly explain the very common confusion between bored and boring, noting that bored describes how a person feels, while boring describes the thing causing that feeling. So you say, I'm bored, but the class is boring. And next, they gently introduce lonely, meaning feeling alone in an unhappy way, clarifying that being alone and feeling lonely are not always the same thing, since someone can be alone and feel completely fine, while loneliness is a specific emotional feeling. With an example like, I feel lonely when everyone is busy, and then they briefly discuss embarrassed, meaning feeling uncomfortable or shy because of something awkward or silly, such as forgetting someone's name in front of many people. With an example like, I felt embarrassed when I forgot his name. And Leo jokes that he knows that particular feeling very well. And from there, they shift the conversation from individual feeling words toward full feeling conversations, explaining that talking about emotions isn't only about stating your own feeling, but also about asking, listening, and responding kindly to others. So if someone says, I'm tired, a warm response could be, I'm sorry to hear that, you should get some rest, or I hope you feel better soon. And if someone says, I'm excited, you might respond with, that's great, good for you, or that sounds exciting. And if someone says, I'm nervous, you could say, it's okay to feel nervous, or I'm sure you'll do well. And they note that many learners focus only on questions and forget how important supportive responses are for making conversations feel genuine and caring. And they practice a short, natural example together, where Tina says she is a little tired because she had a busy week. And Leo responds with sympathy and encouragement. And then Leo says he is excited because he's meeting a friend later. And Tina responds warmly, hoping he has a wonderful time. And they highlight the value of asking a natural follow-up question, meaning the next question that comes after someone's first answer, such as asking why, what happened, or do you want to talk about it when someone shares something like I'm worried, since these follow-up questions make a conversation feel deeper and more caring. And then they discuss a few common beginner mistakes, starting with the incorrect phrase I have happy, reminding listeners that feelings in English are usually expressed using the verb be, such as I am happy, I am sad, or I am nervous, and that I feel happy is also correct. And another common mistake is overusing the word very with every single feeling, such as repeatedly saying I'm very happy, I'm very sad, or I'm very tired, which is fine for beginners at first, but can be gradually improved by using softer or more varied intensifiers like a little tired, really happy, quite nervous, or so excited. And Tina shares that she often uses a little and quite because they sound gentle, while Leo admits he often uses really, especially in phrases like I'm really hungry. And Tina teases that hunger seems to be his strongest emotion. And then they talk about how feelings can shift slightly, depending on different situations, such as at work, at home, or with friends, explaining that at work people often say things like, I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm busy, or sometimes I'm proud. And they explain that proud means feeling happy because you did something well or because someone you care about did something well, with examples like I'm proud of my work or my parents are proud of me. And at home people might say I'm relaxed, I'm sleepy, I'm bored, I'm comfortable, or I'm lonely. While with friends people often say I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm upset, or I'm worried. And they emphasize that language naturally changes depending on who you're speaking with, since people often speak more openly with close friends, but may choose simpler or more careful language with co-workers. And Leo shares that he might tell a close friend, I feel terrible today, but at work he might simply say, I'm a little tired instead. And then they introduce the word upset, meaning feeling unhappy, hurt, or a little angry, often softer than pure anger, with examples like I'm upset because he forgot my birthday or she looked upset after the meeting. And they note that upset is especially useful because real feelings are not always clearly just sad or just angry. And to help make these words feel more natural, they walk through several everyday mini situations together, imagining how someone might feel before a big test the next day, which could bring nervousness and worry, or how someone might feel after finishing a difficult project, which could bring pride and relaxation, or how someone might feel receiving a surprise gift from a friend, which could bring surprise and happiness, or how someone might feel after waiting an hour for a bus, which could bring tiredness, annoyance, and hunger, introducing the word annoyed to describe feeling slightly angry. And Leo jokes that slightly annoyed is basically his permanent travel mood. And they also imagined staying home alone on a rainy day, which might bring calm and relaxation for some people, or a bit of loneliness for others if it continues too long. And they point out an important lesson here, which is that the exact same situation can create different feelings in different people, and there isn't always one single correct emotional response. So if one learner says, "I feel calm on rainy days," and another says, "I feel sad on rainy days," both answers are equally valid and personal, and English becomes more meaningful when it reflects someone's true individual experience. And they briefly touch on how body language and tone of voice help convey deeper meaning, noting that sometimes a person says "I'm fine," but their face or voice suggests something different. And that in English, "I'm fine" can genuinely mean okay, or it can quietly mean not really okay, depending on how it's said. So if someone says "I'm fine" in a quiet or flat voice, it may be kind to gently ask again, such as saying, "Are you sure, or do you want to talk?" Because talking about feelings is not only about language, it's also about human connection. And they also acknowledge that not everyone wants to share deeply every time, and that this is perfectly okay too, since someone can keep their answer short by saying something like, "I'm a little tired, but I'm okay, I'm not feeling great today," or "I'd rather not talk about it right now." And they explain that this last phrase represents a personal boundary, meaning a limit around what someone feels comfortable sharing, and that recognizing and respecting these boundaries is an important part of real communication. And before wrapping up this part of the lesson, they offer listeners a very simple feeling formula to remember, which is "I'm blank because blank and I feel blank when blank," along with simple ways to ask others about their feelings, such as "How are you?" "How are you feeling?" or "Are you okay?" and simple supportive responses like "I'm sorry to hear that," "That's great," "I understand," or "I hope you feel better soon." And they agree that although this topic feels simple, it is genuinely important, because being able to talk about your feelings makes your English feel more human and more useful in everyday life. And Leo jokes that being able to say "I'm hungry" alone can make life significantly easier. And then they move into reviewing some of the most important words and phrases from the conversation one by one, starting again with happy, meaning feeling good, glad, or pleased. Reinforced with examples like "I'm happy to see you," "She feels happy after work," "We're happy because it's Friday," or "I'm really happy about the good news," reminding listeners that happy is expressed with the verb be rather than have, and Leo shares that he personally feels happy when he eats good food. Then they review tired, meaning needing rest, with examples like "She feels tired after work," "I'm too tired to cook, he looks tired today," or "I'm a little tired, so I want to go home early," noting the subtle difference between sleepy, meaning wanting sleep, and tired, meaning having low energy, and Leo admits he often feels tired in the afternoon. Then they review nervous, meaning worried or afraid before something important, with examples like "She feels nervous before exams," "I get nervous when I speak in front of a group," "It's normal to feel nervous sometimes," or "He looks nervous," along with the useful tip that nervous is usually followed by about, as in "I'm nervous about my meeting." And Leo shares he feels nervous when he forgets people's names. Then they review excited, meaning very happy and full of energy about something, with examples like "She's excited about her trip," "The kids are excited for the holiday," "I feel excited when I start a new project," or "I'm excited to see my family." Again, clarifying that excited describes a feeling while exciting describes the cause. And Leo shares he feels excited when making travel plans. Then they review worried, meaning thinking something bad may happen, with examples like "She feels worried about her son," "Don't be worried," or "He looks worried today," along with the useful phrase "worried about." And Leo jokes that he feels worried whenever his phone battery drops to 2%. Then they review relaxed, meaning calm and comfortable without stress, with examples like, this music makes me feel relaxed. She looks relaxed on vacation. Or a hot shower helps me feel relaxed, clarifying that relaxed describes a person while relaxing describes a thing. And Tina shares she feels relaxed after a long meal with friends. Then they review bored, meaning not interested, with examples like he feels bored in long meetings. The class is boring, so the students feel bored. Or I get bored when I wait too long, reminding listeners of the common mistake of saying I'm boring when they actually mean I'm bored. And Leo shares he gets bored when sitting too long without moving. Then they review upset, meaning unhappy, hurt, or a little angry, with examples like, I'm upset because he forgot my birthday. Don't be upset, he sounded upset on the phone, or she feels upset about the result, noting that upset is a softer and broader word than angry in many situations. And Tina shares she feels upset when people are rude. Then they review calm, meaning peaceful and not stressed, with examples like she has a calm voice, try to stay calm, or I feel calm when I sit near the window, along with the common phrase calm down, meaning to become more calm. And Tina shares she feels calm when everything around her is clean and quiet. Then they review the supportive phrase, I'm sorry to hear that, used as a kind response when someone shares something sad or difficult, with examples like, I'm sick, I'm sorry to hear that, or my cat is not well, I'm sorry to hear that, noting that this phrase is meant for difficult news rather than good news. And finally, they review the warm phrase, I hope you feel better soon, meaning a wish for someone to feel good again, with examples like, you look sick, I hope you feel better soon, you sound stressed, I hope you feel better soon, or she had a hard day, so I said, I hope you feel better soon. Noting that this phrase works well for both physical and emotional situations. And then they offer listeners a short final summary, reviewing happy as feeling good or pleased, tired as needing rest, nervous as feeling worried before something important, excited as feeling very happy and full of energy, worried as thinking something bad may happen, relaxed as feeling calm and comfortable, bored as feeling not interested, upset as feeling unhappy, hurt or a little angry, calm as feeling peaceful and not stressed, along with the two supportive phrases, I'm sorry to hear that and I hope you feel better soon. And they reflect together on everything they covered throughout the lesson, starting with basic feeling questions like how are you feeling, and are you okay? Then simple feeling answers like I'm happy, I'm tired, I'm nervous, I'm worried, and I'm relaxed. Then how to add reasons using the patterns I'm blank because blank and I feel blank when blank. Then common daily feeling words including happy, sad, tired, nervous, excited, worried, angry, calm, relaxed, bored, lonely, and upset. Then helpful supportive responses like I'm sorry to hear that, that's great, I understand, and I hope you feel better soon. And finally, real conversation skills such as asking follow-up questions, responding kindly, and gently setting personal boundaries when needed. And they emphasize that the big overall message is refreshingly simple, since talking about feelings in English doesn't require complicated grammar, just a handful of useful words, a couple of easy sentence patterns, and kind, thoughtful responses. And that simple English like this can genuinely create real human connection, which is a wonderful reason to keep practicing every day. And then they invite listeners to participate by answering the question of the day, which is simply, how are you feeling today and why? With Leo sharing that today he feels pretty good, but also a little tired because he slept late. And Tina sharing that she feels calm and focused because she had a quiet morning and a clear plan. Noting that different answers are completely okay since everyone's experience is personal. And they invite viewers to respond in the comments using simple sentence patterns like today I'm feeling blank because blank, or I feel blank when blank, or even I'm a little blank today, but I'm okay. Encouraging everyone to write one or two simple English sentences describing their real feelings, since this helps both the channel create better lessons and helps viewers practice writing about real everyday life. And they close the episode warmly by thanking thanking everyone for spending this time with them, inviting viewers who enjoyed the lesson to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so they never miss the next lesson. Reminding everyone that they are all doing wonderfully as students and should keep practicing, and leaving listeners with one final thought, that one simple sentence can open the door to a real conversation, and one honest feeling can help people understand each other just a little better, before wishing everyone a wonderful day, evening, and night, encouraging them to take care, keep learning, and keep speaking English, and saying a warm goodbye until the next episode.